Hey there guys, welcome to this edition of VGU Talks, and let's talk games. Today I'm going to talk about timed exclusivity and why I just don't see the point of it in this day and age. So what has exactly brought this on for me? Well, The Division, a game I've been on the fence on, but I've actually been looking forward to ever since beta, and you can check out my thoughts on that in our beta impressions video. We'll be getting a 30-day timed exclusive content on Xbox One that includes the first two major expansive DLCs that are named Underground and Survival. The third expansion DLC, known as Last Stand, however, will not be a part of this deal and will release on PS4, Xbox One and PC simultaneously later on in the winter periods. It also does not include the free content updates that Ubisoft have confirmed, that are Incursions coming in April and Conflict coming in May. 30 days for an exclusive piece of content that is eventually going to be available on your competitive consoles. Are you saying that piece of content, that one piece of content, not even the game itself, but that expansion, is going to be so credible, so impactful, so must-have, that people are going to go out of their way to buy an Xbox One, to buy the Xbox One version of the game, and to literally get their hands on those expansions 30 days before everyone else? I don't really see the point of it, especially in this day and age. Now, the reason why I'm saying this day and age is because back in the day, and we're saying more like PS1, PS2, Xbox 360 era, even PS3 era, game exclusivity made sense. It was the main thing that drove people towards your console, and the main thing that kept your console afloat, along with the third-party games that came out on every single platform. Because yes, you could pick up Final Fantasy on PS3 and Xbox 360, but you could only get Gears of War for your Xbox. You could only get Ratchet & Clank for your PlayStation. There were games that were on both sides of the spectrum that catered to different gamers, and therefore gave you the choice as to which console was best for you as a consumer. It made sense. But in this day and age, that mentality is slowly driven away, because more and more gamers are picking a console not necessarily just for the exclusives, but for the services that they're giving. And because of that, many games now are not catering to being exclusive. Some are, and those exclusives are being specifically built for one console first, with the potential of them coming out on other consoles at a later date, which, in all honesty, is a good practice in this new era, because then you know that when you get that game for your console, you know it is fully optimized for that console on launch, and then if it is going to eventually come to the competitors at a later date, the same thing will be done for those versions. Those versions will be optimized, hopefully, for those console versions also. But to make them exclusive, or to make little pieces of DLC or expansive pieces of DLC exclusive for a specific version of the game, even for a small period of time like 30 days, because that's nothing in comparison to Rise of the Tomb Raider, it just doesn't make sense. Unless it is going to be an exclusive title that will drive people to your product, then there is no point. Rise of the Tomb Raider, from what I saw from people's reactions of it, I know people that love the new Tomb Raider and people that are very much on the fence with it, but they all agreed, as much as Rise of the Tomb Raider is a great game to get, it's not necessarily a console buyer. It's not the game you would go out of your way to get a console for, specifically for that one. Like, you would probably get the console bundle with Tomb Raider and a couple of other games that balance it out, but you wouldn't specifically go just because that game was on that console. And the same thing happens here with content. In all honesty, making DLC timed exclusive is a little bit stupid, because no one in their right mind will jump to your console because they'll be able to play an expansion for 30 days before anyone else can. At least I don't see that happening. Even guys like Phil Spencer have been coming out on Twitter and in interviews saying that basically the console wars in this day and age are silly and are basically dead. because companies are very much working alongside one another now. Sony's products and games with PlayStation are also coming onto PC, or on PC first and then coincide with the PlayStation 4, and the same thing with the Xbox One and PC games as well. And more developers out there want to make their games for every platform so that everyone has a chance to play their game, rather than making things exclusive to lock certain communities out of a chance of playing their product, because they want to see a profit and they also want to put smiles on gamers' faces, which in all honesty everyone should be aspiring to. Timed exclusivity, I think, is a waning practice. It's on its way out, and the fact that the only company I'm really seeing doing it nowadays is Microsoft is a little bit daunting. I'm not saying Microsoft's in the wrong. I'm not saying I hate Microsoft, because I don't. I love those guys. I love the games they put out. I love the practices they normally do. And hell, I love Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is a great guy to have at the top of your team. But something like this in this day and age, I don't think will cut it. I don't see this being a benefit to the Xbox One in any way, shape or form. And I just see this as more of a nuisance rather than a big batch of profit. Anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions out of the way, and now I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What do you think about the act of timed exclusivity? More so on DLC side than full release side, but you can put your opinions on that as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys, and I'll see you next time for another edition of VGU Talks.